Welcome back. If it's just joining us, you're still on the press, reaching you live from the nation's capital in Abuja. Now, joining us to analyze most of the headlines on our national dailies today is Comrade Duke Alamboye. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Yes,
Thanks for joining us.
Compliments of the season.
Compliments of the season.
That's why I'm putting on black.
Why are you wearing black? Black is not similar to, or
government is seriously responsive. We are going to pay 15,000 to Port Harcourt.
Okay. 15,000.
Yes, it's about 30,000 to Port Harcourt by road. Okay. I don't know if the airlines are inclusive. I was trying to check if we could have airline affordable 20 or 30,000, but I'm still inquiring. But I think the roads are subsidized. The road transport has been subsidized, and people are now free to travel. I knew 2-3 transport agencies have declared that they've gotten discussions with government, and people can now travel at that 50% discount. So I'm on black to celebrate it.
Oh, black, a nice one. I like that.
Because it's going to
it's going to take me to my next question about the transportation subsidy. That, of course, the federal government said they've slashed 50%, and then for train stations it's free. You said you have people that actually went there and then it was effective for some motor companies. But then, do you think on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think this would affect the entire Nigeria as a whole?
Well, it's coming at a time is actually required. It's a season period, and everybody that has struggled in their business places want to go home and have the feel of the holidays. And honestly, the tension was high because lots of demands amidst scarce funds. Funds are seriously scarce, budget not approved, the presidency, government trying to see how they can tussle around the economy to make things survive, and of course it is clashing intensively with the season where we have to buy. Is somehow somewhat mandatory that people must buy clothes for their children. People must get themselves this month prepared for January school fees. Some people are renewing their rent, so the whole pack of hurdles and burdens in the minds of families and family bearers. So it's not as if December is somewhat a sacrificial month, but it's a month where everybody prepares, even for New Year resolutions, New Year school fees, New Year that, house rents, everything that is going to start the next year. The preparation begins December. So people became so tensed, inability to travel. There's no money to even buy, prepare yourself for the holidays, to talk of paying huge amount of money. Some families are 10, some families are 6, 7, 5. So if you're going to travel from Abuja to Port Harcourt for, let's say, at least 45,000, multiply that by 5 children, yourself and your wife. So it became so. Well, some people, this is the period people set activities. You can see how Abuja is so empty because this time last year or some years back, this time you would have seen corporate organizations doing their celebrations, end of year parties, but we're not seeing any of these things happening because of scarce funds in circulation.
Well then, don't you think that instead of giving this discount in transportation, why wouldn't the federal government give the discount in fuel, like giving a discount in fuel price? I think it will go a long way.
No. If you give the manipulation within that sector is what they are running from. You still go on by. Don't forget that government, there's little more or little of instability in that sector. So anything you do in that sector now will affect even supply and demand. So I like the essence of running away or moving away from that aspect, rather directly impacting it on the people. So the implication here is that you are not saying it will be too hidden when you subsidize it in that aspect. It will not direct people from. It will not misdirect people from not knowing what to do. But today, it is obvious and pronounced that 50% discount. So it means that the common man knows that if you are to travel from Abuja to Port Harcourt, and for instance in RTC, it is 35,000. You just go there, and all you need to be sure is that they are applying to what government has said, and you pay your 15,000 or so and travel. So this is direct. This is the first time I want to give kudos to this augmentation or this subsidy within this period. I think it is coming at the right time, and Nigerians are a little bit reflexing and rejoicing about this. Mostly the East. People during the festive period, the Easterners, they travel a lot. So I think I was on the road. I saw lots of happiness in the minds of even the transport agencies, the transport companies are also enlightened, because it's also a huge burden from them, because the turnout for travel was so low as at even 18th or 19th or 20th. So low. But with this, people are beginning to prepare themselves to say they are traveling. It would have come earlier than this, but I think I still give it to the government.
Okay, we can't talk about the transport subsidy without talking about cash scarcity right now. There's been lots of back and forth between the CBN lawmakers, POS agents, the Senate themselves. The CBN has said the banks are the ones hoarding money and giving it to POS agents on purpose. Meanwhile, the Senate is saying, oh, what exactly is the problem? I'd like you to take two questions in one breath. First off, the cash crunch. They've said it's the fault of the bank. But then don't we have a body that actually regulates all of these things to be able to checkmate the bank and say you shouldn't hoard money? That's one. Two, Emefiele was blamed when there was cash crunch the last time, given that, oh, there was the Naira redesign policy. But now there is no Naira redesign policy. So why do we have the problem of cash crunch? The third one, Emefiele, ex-minister, 14 unders indicted in CBN probe. Is there going to be an end to all of this?
Well, let me take it from your first question. I think a lot, people are trying a lot to survive. And putting it to common perspective, you can bear with me, you can agree with me that there is business for everything you do. Okay. Now, the POS people, during the cash crunch era, the Emefiele era, went into self-search for fund. So what I mean is that for you to even walk up to a POS operator and find cash, that operator would have gone extra mile in the banks. Meaning the implication is that there are some level of illegalities that would have transpired or conspired. So for having such fund. So these things have translated into business cycle. So what it means is that you can quickly easily pick up your phone as a POS operator, call bank A, an agent or whatever, a staff there, and say, please, I need ₦1 million, and then it is stacked and kept for you. Reasons being that that transaction provides profit for the both parties, which is not legal, which is not the right thing to do. A POS operator cannot survive. Today, as I speak with you, if you walk down to the counter to say you want to access fund, it's not easy. You can't have 500,000 naira from the bank directly to say you want to go and do your POS as early as you can. The only way they survive now is going through that illegal process, calling colleagues in the bank, keeping it for them. So this is really affecting the disposition and exposure of funds in the society. So when you go to the bank, you are keeping abreast of the fact that, oh, there's no money or whatever they want to call it. Meanwhile, they channel these funds through the back doors to the POS people where they make money from it. So it's not something we can take up. When the operators themselves, the regulators they are referring to themselves, are corrupt and part of this business, I barely don't think anything tangible can be done about it, except they revive the system. They said they see this system as a system that is not correct. Self-discipline to say, no, okay, those times that we have insufficient funds or issues with circulation of funds and distribution of funds are gone. Let's do the right thing. It will not take place. Emefiele's case, we are ringing around the same circle, in my own opinion. But this man did a whole lot of, I don't know what language to use, heal to this nation.
Sorry to now that you've said he has done a lot for this nation, I'd like to list a few from the nation's newspaper. They said investigators' report shows massive plunder of Apex Bank, 31.78 billion naira paid to print the new naira notes. Now we have 543.45 million pounds fixed in British Bank. Then we have 1.62 trillion naira COVID-19 funds unaccounted for.
This is what I'm saying. The CBN governor is a colossal damage to Nigerians. Let me tell you something. Everybody kept blaming Buhari. Of course, because they say the leader, anything that's wrong goes to the leader. People most ministers and most national officers that worked under Buhari made a mess of the system, made a mess of that tenure. And one of them today we are seeing is the CBN governor. You wouldn't believe that the CBN governor at the time became a small god. The CBN governor's office is where you can work when Amefele was in charge. It's where you can walk in and make a billion in a day. That is if you find favor in his hands. So again, did he do this thing alone? It's not possible. The other day I was listening to analysis. Abacha's loot. Somebody was asking, particularly Al-Mustafa was asking, Major General Al-Mustafa was asking, did Al-Mustafa own any of those, did Abacha own any of those accounts? People are not going down to say, okay, who are the perpetrators? Refunds from foreign banks, Abacha's loot. When you go to, nobody is exposing who and who got those transactions with Abacha. The same thing is happening now in Amefele's case. Until we are deliberate in bringing out issues and analyze them critically, constitutionally, and let people begin to bear the brunt of their actions, we will go nowhere. Amefele's activities in the CBN, mostly the last 4 years, the last lap they did, was a coin to bring this nation down at every sphere. This is where our treasury is. This is where Nigerians can smile. This is where we can know whether we can progress as a country. This is where we can know if the country is financially buoyant. As poor we perceive Nigeria, as bad as corrupt we perceive Nigeria, they went in, and this huge amount of funds we are hearing, if they are true, Messi, I want to tell you that we have nothing, the judiciary have nothing to delay, but to pass quick and confronting judgment on the Amefele and get our country back. The administration, I praise the president. He's a mature politician, a mature-minded man, a man that believes in progression. So he has not one day come to say any bad thing about the previous government. He is stage managing, he is managing the economy without crying. He is crying under the rain to ensure that Nigerians survive. The issues he's facing is because he's the president that wouldn't want to, talk bad about the Buhari's administration. He is poor. The president is poor. He's looking for fund. He is striving hard to get investment. Yet, if Amefele was just left to move away quietly, this is the amount of monies would have known. This is equivalent to a year's budget. These monies were running a budget of states combined together in one man's doing, in one man's account, with his perpetrators. So what are you talking about? We'll keep talking and talking if the judiciary, if government in positions are not coming out to strike the matter as it is, we will not get to where we're going to. So I want to say that this should not end at the bare faces of newspapers. We want to see the government being proactive. It was a decoy, naira change. We felt it was political. Of course, it was to stifle this thing. I was happy about it because I was sad about financial inducement in politics. So when that came and then it was going to redirect people's perception or where people have kept money, I was happy about it. But to come and discover today that it was real damage to the nation's fortune is sad to hear about.
But do you think the country going into a cashless policy right now would solve most of our problems?
Are we matured enough to go to cashless policies? What are the parameters? Yes, in the city town, like I have been practicing this for the past 10 years, I don't go with money. So, but when there are some areas you're going to, you need to deliberately have physical cash. But I think we are also trying. I don't want to undermine the process. We are trying. I think people are beginning to get the awareness that you can actually even transact, mostly because of these online transactions. People are beginning to know that you mustn't travel with huge amount of money from one place to the other for the purposes of business, but our daily livelihoods. You go to the city, you go to the rural areas, you still see people demanding for money. In fact, if they don't want to even believe that they have cash in the bank and it's not at hand, they are not having money. They barely use money on a daily basis to transact. So I think the cashless policy is is beginning to be effective at the city centers, but we need to do more orientation down and produce the facilities that will enable the rural people also know that, oh, you must not, with this card alone, you can walk into the supermarket in the city
But then not
centers.
just that, you know that even if you're doing all of this, you have to make provisions for banks for them too. Because equally now we face so many challenges in the cities where you even try to withdraw from POS and then your money gets taken and then you're debited, but then they don't see it, or say failed transaction and all of that. You know, you need to walk into the bank.
Yes.
And you can say that in most of these rural places, it could be just one bank to like 7 communities.
Yes, that's
so
what I'm saying.
most of these things are partly what the government should tackle.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by the facilities.
Okay.
Because you cannot just say, let us practice cashless policies, and then in the rural areas, they don't even have a POS provider. They don't even have a bank or any financial institution that will aid them to say, okay, I can't pay this money physically, but I think I can give you my POS to go and transfer all those facilities that will enable cashless policies work in rural areas. Okay. And the advocacy. So many people will say, do not believe that you can get a goods from a 10 million naira and do a transfer. No, in the village, they say, please bring my 10 million. What denomination want to bring it? Bring the money physically and carry your goods. They don't also believe that the trust in that policy is what we are really going to also advocate seriously. I think the orientation agencies that is so moribund now needs a lot to do to revive image and perception.
I'm sorry to barge in one more time. You spoke about trust, but then we would agree with me that Nigerians naturally have trust deficit when it comes to federal government, because I like to bring us back to still the fact that you used 31.78 billion naira to print the new naira notes, that at the end of the day it now is a legal tender and is still
let us even ask the question, how much was printed? How much naira's notes were projected to be printed for such amount? It's fraud. It's fraudulent. You see, this is where we want to see the EFCC spring up their strength. ICPC, the judiciary, of course, it's out of them. The judiciary has seen these evidences. They will take it technical. At the end of the day, you will be a culprit. You will be an enemy to Emefiele to have even opposed him on the mainstream media, on social media front, because Emefiele will come out of this matter free of charge.
Well, then
unfortunately, that is what we have.
You made a statement that he did not just commit these crimes levied against him. There are other perpetrators. Now, my question is, how can we trace these perpetrators so that they can also face the law?
There is nothing. Let me tell you something. If you're very close to intelligence gathering in this country, I can tell you for free that there is nothing that is happening that government is not aware. The ability and capability to prosecute is the problem. Because by the time you link the culprit, the suspect, to 3, 4, 5 persons, you'll be realizing that you're offending yourself. You would have been offending a friend. So you have to have a restraint from doing that. For instance, I've committed an offense, and then I'm doing this, and then you wear it. Oh, I know the judge that is on that matter. Dick is my friend. So you approach the judge. Oh, is he your friend? We'll do something about it. That is what is killing. Personal interest and commitment to national interest is what is killing our processes. What we are seeing today, the lacuna created, the suffering created by the Emefiele's regime in this country is part of the menace we have when we say the country is taking 5 years aback. Why did the administration of President Muhammad Buhari didn't function properly? Insufficient funds, lack of decisions, and what have you. Basically vested on funds. So what we get to know or hear is there is no money and there is no money, whereas these funds were streamlined to special people that can access it and make do with it. The findings are coming out. Ministers are going to be indicted. Governors are going to be indicted. National officers within that period are going to be indicted. The $1 million question we are asking ourselves is, what will they, at the end of the day, what will it produce? It's not just getting the funds back if they may or if they will. It's not just pleading for a plea bargain. At the end of the day, what punishment was accrued to these persons to have put this nation into that light of suffering?
Okay.
That is the question.
Let's quickly take this call. Good morning. Thank you for calling the press. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, looks like we lost that call. We would implore our caller to, of course, return the call. Go ahead, please.
All right, let's move away from Emefiele's issue and talk about the rivers crisis that was just recently settled by the president, due to his intervention. And now the ex-commissioner here says, the headline here on the Punch, that Tinubu threatened Fubara to sign this peaceful resolution. And my question is, did Fubara sign this resolution under duress, or he just signed it willingly?
Okay, to start with, I want you to withdraw that statement, settlement.
Okay.
Like the commissioner, that is Honorable David Briggs, Chief David Briggs, emphasized in his press release. He said a meeting means people will have discussion, people will have opinion, and then the presider, or the one presiding, will have to say, having heard from all of this, I think this is the right thing we should do. And of course, those recommendations will also be at the discretion of the parties. Let me take you back a little. The first time they went to see the president asked them to go back to status quo. The FCT minister and the 27 assembly members refused. Of course, Sim has not done anything. The governor didn't do anything wrong after that meeting.
Okay.
He was minding his business in governance. Before we heard that 27 assembly members of the River State had defected to the APC. And by implication, you know what that means. Let us even leave the political aspect of it, governance aspect of it. When your legislation that bears the majority of your party defects to another party, if they've even done it diligently and constitutionally, the implication there is that it will be very easy to pull you out of office because they form majority of the House. I'm sure this is what informed their minds for that defection. The whole defection process and whatever is designed to ensure a slim line to impeach the governor. River State people, Nigerians are crying. Interested parties have been calling. Why is this governor scheduled for impeachment? We are happy. Asai Dokubo, a leader of the job nation in River State, came up, who is closer to the president, to say, look, the president should intervene in this matter before it gets out of hand. Don't forget, the minister emphasized that the matter is purely constitutional matter. But to his kindness, to his loyalty, the governor even had to travel down to Abuja to attend a meeting called by the father of the nation and asking him to put the press. Is that a recommendation? Is that supposed to be how matters should be settled? What are we talking about? All the prescriptions on that paper that was given to the former governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Peter Odili, was just a play of palm, subjecting the governor to more calumny, more dangers, putting Rivers people to what I call a cage of dictatorship. Don't forget, these matters are in court. The governor is not in this matter alone. A people, the job nation, have risen to this effect. Anybody that should come into this matter diligently should be coming in to maintain peace. And the only way to maintain peace is to balance your opinion. So far as I'm concerned, it's true, it's of a fact. They've defected. They should go to court if the governor is not keeping to constitutionalities with their proceedings. They should go to court, let the court interpret it. If the mode of defection was correct, then the governor is owing them. But they are sitting to say they will revoke the impeachment process is over content of law. They don't have any locus to sit. So these are the issues, these are the mistakes they keep doing. The honorable, the former commissioner, Chief David Briggs, was in the meeting. So he said it categorically. He was given first-class informations.
So that means
it means that
you're affirming to the fact that Tinubu threatened Fubara to sign the resolution.
I won't, as said by David Briggs, but what I want to say is that if you look at those resolutions, they are one-sided resolutions. And these are not in the interest, they are never in the interest of Rivers people.
Okay, let's quickly take this call from Elder Zion. Good morning, Elder Zion. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for calling, Elder Zion. Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
God bless you.
Amen.
Thank you for still the discussions on what is happening in River State. We will continue to discuss it. You see, we have been blaming the federal government. We have been blaming Tinubu, the president. There are very few people consider us that the governor himself is at fault.
Okay.
Yes. When we were taking in Paris, according to some people, a woman who does something, a lady, this man comes, he gives you something, tomorrow he gives you another one, yes, tomorrow he gives you another one. Without having any close relationship with this person. You must expect that one day you are going to pay that person. You are going to pay either in cash or in time. When Ike was doing everything for Fubara, he bought ticket for him. He raised the nation for him. He did many other things for him. He was enjoying it. He didn't know that the day shall come when we came a return match. And that is what we is demanding. So you see, for me as a person, I'm holding Fubara responsible. Yes, because that for some of those people who are destroying our democracy, those people who don't want democracy to grow in this country, they are doing all sorts of discrepancies, cutting corners, doing many evil things. They cheat, they distort issues. It's one of them. Did you win an election correctly? Did you win an election? So what am I saying? Yes, many people are blaming federal government for this letter or this document signed. Did they hold him by force to sign it? Did they hold him by the barrel of gun to sign it? Is he not expected to display courage as a man to refuse what is not good for him? So all these things we have to discuss it.
Okay.
May God help us.
Amen.
Amen.
May you celebrate Christmas in peace.
No, okay.
And
Amen.
enjoy. And then happiness.
Amen.
May God bless Nigeria.
God bless
Thank you very
Nigeria.
much.
Thank you, Elder Zion. All right, let's take our next caller as we quickly. Good morning.
Yeah, beautiful morning to you, Babajide, Reuben, Comrade, good morning.
Good morning.
Good
You are
morning.
on to,
SMB
yeah,
from
you are on
Lagos.
to SMB from Lagos.
That's correct. So please join in on the conversation.
Let me quickly appreciate KAFTAN TV for giving us this ample opportunity to share our minds. So many things resonate with me, but let me appreciate Comrade. Comrade, I wish you all the best.
Thank you very
And by
much.
the special grace of Almighty Creator who gives us life and hope, if you want to travel to see your family anywhere, God will allow you to do that. One way or the other, the miracle is going to happen, God willing. Never mind about the cash issue, the transportation expenses, God will provide way for you, and so everybody by the special grace of God. Let me quickly respond not only on the issue, even though there is this issue of River State, which to me I consider as a brigandage. And if we continue to allow brigandage into our political system of government, believe me, it's not going to take us anywhere. We're going backwards, which I don't pray for. So that is on that. Like Comrade mentioned, if they really mean business, let them go to court and do the needful. That is on that. Secondly, let me call my brothers and sisters, both Christians and Muslims, to look into the system that we are today. Yesterday, I was telling some of my communities, we should have the mind to come up with something which I consider Operation Assist Your Neighbor. Forget about what is going on. Forget about you are a Muslim, I'm a Christian. This is a seasonal period that we need to show love to our brothers. We need to put smile in the faces of our brothers and sisters. Whether they have money, they don't have money, but look into your system internally. to see, okay, how can I assist this my neighbor so that he can put a smile to his children's faces today? How can I assist them? Not with money. You can't just keep on saying, yeah, the money. Yeah, we know we have issues of not scarcity in the banks and so on and so forth. But believe me, what is going on between the banks and the POS people, there is, to me, it's an organized issue. It's an organized issue, whether we like it or not. This is where we need ICPC, EFCC to get involved as duly needful. There is no how such things will keep on going on without the knowledge of the superior officer. Believe me, it's an organized issue and something has to be done. Then the issue of this transportation and so on is government. Yes, we appreciate the government for giving 50% discount or something of that nature. It's a good thing. But if the government will come out at this point in time to say this, does that mean that the government knows what to do in terms of transportation aspect, which they don't want to do in everywhere in the world? Believe me, we travel out of country. We travel to our neighboring countries. We travel to foreign countries. We see logistically how the governments of those countries come up and assist their people when it comes to logistic aspect, transportation, be it seaway, railway, and so on and so forth. Why can't our government do the same? Why can't they do the same? Each and every state of this 36 states has transportation commission or transport commissioner or something of that nature. Why can't we do the same? Yes, we're not putting all this blame on the federal government. So also the state government has to come out. You go out in the morning, you see how children are hustling to go to school. Where is the government? Can't we assist our people when it comes to logistic aspect? When I mean by logistic, human beings travel every day. We get stuff from everywhere every day. This is where government will intervene to assist their people so that we have a very smooth transportation aspect. Go to UK, go to US, go to Canada, everywhere in the world. You see transport assisted aspect of government. Why can't our government do the same? Is this 50% going to be permanent? You know why? This December period is quite unique. Every year, we have festive, we have Salah, we have fasting, but December is very unique. You know why? It's time of budget. That is why in summary we said new year, new resolution. You have so many things in life. You have to do this. You have to do that. Where are we going to, for God's sake? Can't we have a very good policy that we resonate with Nigerians so that we know that we have government that has care of Nigerians in mind? Building a nation is a collective responsibility. We know government is not a business agency, but government policy sometimes assists in building nation in a big way. And I hope and pray the government will look into this transportation aspect, be it a seaway, railway, airways, and so on and so forth, so we can have better country. Thank you very much. I remain SMD from Lagos, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, SMD from Lagos. Merry Christmas to you too. And now we'd like you to, of course,
yes,
on what
I'll take it from what the first caller, I think Elder said. Well, politics is dynamic. You can agree with me that every governor that is going out wants a successor, and the reasons for producing a successor is enormous. We want to discuss that. I don't think an hour will be enough. But there's cordiality, there's agreement, there's understanding. What I mean is the first understanding that would have been put on the ground is continuity. Most times, I keep praising Lagos right from when the present president left the governorship of Lagos State. It has been transitional from one good governor to the other, and that is because they are succeeding themselves. They are very particular about who governs the state. The elites always come together to see who governs the state to continue from where the next person has stopped. Unfortunately, in some states, this is what they've not been able to imbibe. So you see lots of dropped and abandoned projects. For the first time in the history of River State, Yesom Wike attempted it and they got it right. Sim is someone well positioned, someone adhered to his art to continue from where he has stopped. Meaning that if there were incomplete projects the governor had not done at that time, Sim would have picked them up, and that is what we're seeing. But to the documents, I disagree with Elder. To the document of Rivers people, where the connection is going to be in total control. To the dismay of Rivers people, where the governor, a sitting governor, cannot even make one appointment in his cabinet. What kind of agreement is that? Where people have worked also, the governor also have friends. Don't forget they are transited. He's a core civil servant where he has the interest of the civil service to protect. He has the interest of low-income earners to protect in the state. If you look at the indices, the past administration didn't even go deep into the whole of that. They were busy with construction, expansion of roads and areas for easy access and business doing in River State. Today we are glad. We are very happy with the governor, the past governor, Yeso Wike. The development stride is brought to River State. It's not as congested as before again. You can drive freely. Businesses, the state is too ripe for businesses to strive. But the governor, a new governor has emerged, and his ideology might differ from yours a little. The kind of cabinet he wants to have might differ. The kind of administration he wants to run, the kind of people he wants to see around him may differ. The issue of godfatherism is what is killing, what is in this issue. If we try to shy away from it, it will still haunt us in the near future.
That's true.
See, I still repeat it. The present governor of River State do not have the capacity, the capability, not even an intention to go against his boss, whom he still calls his boss today. But if you look at the scenario around, he is being stifled. He can't operate. So these are the primary issues. Now, in a bid to fight for supremacy, mistakes are done. Terrible mistakes are done now. The assembly involved itself in matters they are not supposed to involve themselves. Started the process of impeachment, took it further to leave their seats with no cause. And today you want to blame the governor? You want to say the governor is not in control of the judiciary. There is a pronouncement.
All right, Comrade.
On that issue.
I'm afraid I'd have to cut it short because we have to round up now and then move over to our social media part. But thank you so much for doing perfect justice, especially to the River State. We would hope would have you in one of our programs next week to, of course, discuss this matter properly. Thank you very much. All right, our viewers at home, now let's quickly go to our social media segment. We have 3 videos for you, and we will be giving you the videos back to back from the bride's makeup to the before and after, and then the spraying of money and all of that. So let's take a look at our social media videos.
Is it the same thing?
Well, welcome back. We cannot help but talk about the before and after of that bride. What confidence? I'm waiting to hear what
the transformation was loud. Like the before and the after, I can't even tell if it's the same person.
And you know, people would always talk about this bleaching of skin and all of that. Yes, it felt like her skin was not skinny at all.
Like it was not in line with the makeup.
In line with the makeup at all.
Well,
but then,
yeah, I understand the fact that economically it's also viable now. Most of the girls that can't find handy work to do are resorting to makeup and becoming artists in that line. So, but I also want to believe that it is beginning to be abused. People are beginning to go further to torture their original skin.
yeah.
So that is where it is worrisome.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, Comrade, and Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning.
Thanks for joining us.
All right, our viewers at home.
Start torturing your skin.
All right, this is where we wrap it up for the voice for this morning, and I'd like to tell our viewers Merry Christmas, because this is where we wrap it up for this week before we come back on Monday, of course, Christmas Day. Thank you for staying tuned with us all through the week. I remain Mercy Babajide.
Compliments of the season. Do stay tuned for more updates on KAFTAN TV. I am Confidence Reuben.
Bye.
Goodbye.